You were brave enough to click on this video, so hear me out. We have tons of tutorials, podcasts, and cheat sheets. Well, wait. Those were always. And while it's nothing wrong with this, getting obsessed about this exact EQ setting will make you win Grammys is a bad idea. Long story short, mixing tips destroy fun. If you are a producer. For example, how many times you heard you can't apply more than -3 dB gain reduction while compressing? Now, watch this. First, I'm gonna slam the compressor to really hear what I'm doing right now. Then maybe just adjust the attack a little bit. That's the right amount of click. I will read 4:1 ratio. Then maybe try different release times. Sounds great. And then I'm just backing it up and gain matching with makeup. Does that sound bad to you? Not to mention, you will never know what attack, release, and ratio does if you're gonna act like a
right around here and no more. Oh, that's too loud.
Once you gather this mystical knowledge, you can then use analog emulations, since they introduce more character while drive more. That will also be the time when you may want to follow this less gain reduction advice, then use multiple compressors in serial. But that's another story. Agree so far? Congrats, you made it into level 2. I got 2 more to go and they only getting worse, so let me know in the comments which one made you stop watching. If you trusted those saying that sidechain will solve all of your kick and bass problems, then you need to develop trust issues. Just listen and take a look at the kick and bass waveform with sidechain compression on, and now with a frequency docking method. So if you wonder how I've done this, I just took an analyzer. This one, by the way, it's free and it's amazing. Then I just checked the frequency where kick and bass are actually colliding, and that's gonna be somewhere around 49 Hz. And then I just used the envelope follower on my kick and then mapped it to the gain knob on my EQ. You can find how to do this step by step in this video. I'm gonna link it down below in the description as well. So second option saves a lot more bass while still making room for kick. Unlike majority of tutorials out there, I need to address one thing. It highly depends on the effect you want to achieve. In the context of this whole mix, sidechain compression method actually works fine for this bass sound. Take a listen. And that's because this bass sound is short and I used a beefy kick. But just imagine ducking the whole bass signal like here. That's why for this mix I actually combined 2 methods. So on this sub I have sidechain compression, and on this bass sound I actually used a frequency docking method with fuser. It works nearly the same as the stock EQ method. Combining those 2 methods allowed me to push my track as loud as I can. And speaking of loudness, well, that's the most controversial, so I will save it for later. Time for level 3. But to access it, you need to press the like button. I'm sorry, that's how it works. Using delays and reverbs on individual tracks is a crime. Nope, it's not. Sure, if you really feel creative, like putting different effects on reverbs to shape its tone, then of course just use auxes and sends. But if you want to just put sound into space, slap a reverb on, and you're good to go. Well, not exactly. So even with a little bit of wet signal, this lead starts to sound a little bit off. And it may seem like I played myself.
Congratulations.
But that's what the docking option is for. In case you didn't know, there is a built-in docking option in the stock Ableton Echo. Thank me later. So that's how it sounds without docking, and once I increase or actually decrease the threshold, you can hear how the initial sound is still audible, but we are introducing a little bit of delay here. I can also increase the dry-wet knob. And with docking, it still saves the sound. Same for reverb, many plugins have it. Unfortunately not hybrid reverb, which I still endorse over Valhalla, but that's where pre-delay feature comes into play. Good thing is that in hybrid reverb you can also synchronize it to tempo. Yeah, it sounds a little bit trash, and it may seem like I played myself once again.
Congratulations.
But not exactly. That's where you can use envelope follower, map it to dry and wet knob of your reverb, switch to remote. Once you increase the gain, it actually applies more modulation. Then maybe introduce a little bit of fall here to make reverb a little bit longer. So envelope follower is still saving the sound while introducing the reverb, and it works nearly the same as with docking feature. Now if you're thinking,
just use aux and forget about this book,
let me show you a video that changed my entire life. Well, a while ago. In the first 3 minutes, Kashmir explains how to clean up your reverb with sidechain while having the reverb in parallel, fully wet. So if you think about it, both methods are the same. Aux and parallel just gives you more benefits, so it's up to you, not the guys online, to decide what you want to do with your reverb. Guys online, always there with loudnesspenalty.com and Spotify guidelines to destroy your will to make your tracks sound as loud as you want them to be. You guessed it, time for level 4, only for the chosen ones. Let me show you the real loudness standard. Or loudness standards? Or are there any? Following loudness from all the tracks in your genre is more than enough to stop creating problems from a thin air. But if you really need an explanation, let me show you how the almighty Spotify normalization works. Right around the legendary -14 LUFS. Does it sound worse? Nope. Is it still louder and more squashed than, for example, lo-fi beats? Yes, but those are lo-fi and EDM fans. The other side of that are dynamics, and while they are highly related to loudness, you can introduce more uniqueness with more dynamics. In case you still don't know where I'm going with all of that, well, just follow your heart. Nah, it's a little bit too cheesy. So, as producers, we can do whatever we want. Why?
Because we can, and if we can, we do.
Now, if you are in a team Loud and Crushed, I have a bonus for you. Instead of acting like you know your stuff, just start mixing into the limiter. Now, this might be more controversial than anything I said before, but it gives you clear vision of what to bring up, down, what to sidechain or EQ. Now, if you made it here and agree with all of that, I know you like to produce on the edge. So, a couple more tips on mixing into the limiter in case you haven't noticed it yet.